Well, good evening. Welcome to Dodo Modern Poets, fizzing February. Slightly more rainy evening than we were hoping for tonight, but anyway, good to see you all here tonight. We've got a great lineup tonight. We've got Amy Leon, who's all the way from New York, and she's here for till the end of March, so there's lots of places you can catch her apart from here. Also we have Jasmine Ann Corey, welcome return of a Dodo regular, very fine poet. Also Lara Kennedy, back for a second time, so delighted to see Lara again. Just to let you know the format of the evening, it's not going to go on for hours and hours and hours. That's sometimes the kind of thing you feel might happen at a poetry evening. But each half should be approximately 40 minutes. There'll be an interval of 20 minutes and we should be finished by 10. And the bar, I believe, is open till 11 o'clock if you want to stay around and have a workshop with your friends or just relax. So, as you know, the bar is upstairs and the loos are at the back. I think that's all you need to know. It's a fairly simple setup. It's not quite the O2. Oh, we love it anyway. So anyway, let's settle down hopefully for a nice and enlivening evening of fizzing February. Now I'm Patric Cunnane, so I'm going to start off with some poems, and so here I'll go. Thought you probably need some advice about keeping trout in the bath, so I think I'll start with a poem called Handily Enough, Keeping Trout in the Bath. This is my first trout poem, not perhaps a long one. This is because my knowledge of trout is severely limited. I sometimes eat rainbow trout, but I'm not familiar with their natural habitat. This is because I live by a railway siding many miles from fresh water. Still, trout have been familiar with my small kitchen. Their gutted spines and pop-eyed heads have added resonance to my dustbin. I have placed trout alongside croquet potatoes, red cabbage, sweet corn. I pitied trout in the pan, wondered to what purpose were they born. This is my first trout poem. I'm hoping to keep one as a pet. It can live in the bath and once a month I'll take it to the vet. Oh, I wish I were a trout, leaping in the river, not a frozen trout in Sainsbury's, competing for attention with sausages and liver. Thank you very much. Good, somebody using the bar, that's what we like to see. So, I've moved to the coast recently and I've now got a garden for the first time in many years, and this is the sort of thing you do when you live by the coast. It's called sawing wood. I'm in the garden sawing wood and humming a poem, while the snails gaze expectantly, wondering if the sawdust might be as tasty as it looks. I'm in the garden sawing wood, under a clear sky, while the elderflower tree bends inquiringly towards the noise, and the neighbours' doors stay shut. Keeping the morning to myself, I saw away contentedly. Kerplunk goes another plank, and the secret slow worm wonders if it's safe to emerge. A poet sawing wood is not what he bought into when he chose this patch of earth. A poet sawing wood, humming a poem to himself, while all the gull-cawing world goes spinning round, and the chalky earth is firm for now, and the almost silence, almost sound. This is a poem about refugees, and I wrote this last year when there was a war on Gaza, and it's called Smoking Gun, and you probably know that there are 17 million refugees worldwide, and around 5 million of those are from Palestine, so they're by far the largest group. So this is Smoking Gun. They say smoking is bad for you, but imagine you're in a refugee camp and someone hands you a cigarette. What do? You smoke the fucker, greedily, eagerly, because that's all you have between sanity and madness. You smoke the fucker calmly after the first desperate drag, appreciate the friendly fire tickling your lungs. You think, well, it's not as bad as phosphorus gas or losing your sons. What do you do if someone hands you a gun and you're in a refugee camp forever, you and 5 million others? You imagine you might pull the trigger and you're no longer in that refugee camp. You're in that place that even rich people can't escape. My father was an electrician, and he liked to work with his hands, and when he wasn't busy doing clever things with electricity in other people's buildings and homes, he liked to repair clocks. And this is the sort of clock which didn't work on a battery or a piece of quartz, but actually had a spring in it that required taking apart if you wanted to mend it. So this is Time and the Man. My mother bought broken clocks at jumble sales. My father mended them, spent hours fiddling with the mechanisms, uncoiling the stuck springs. With his sharp electrician's eye and nimble fingers used to separating wires, he pried apart the innards until discovering the secret hurt at the heart of time. Hours later, at tea time, we tiptoed in, found him trance-like, hand-cupped to the mechanism, released from its cage of inactivity, tick-tocking rhythmically, majestically, setting time going as shadows crossed the room, and we longed for our Saturday sausages and the coming of the moon. I was in Prague, and it's very hard to go to Prague without thinking about Franz Kafka, and it just seemed that he was inhabiting all the places we were in. So this is the ghost of Franz Kafka. The ghost of Kafka enters room 119, where the poet and his wife are sleeping. He casts a spell and they're forever changed, married in their dreams on the river Vltava. The boat stops under the Charles Bridge. A flame-haired woman recites vows. She calls on the gods to bless this union, casts white lilies on the water. Kafka peers at things arranged in the bathroom. He fingers clothes in the closet. He plays with the radio dial. The sleepers hear Mozart in their dreams. Over the many-crowned Radkani, clouds dispense a chilly bohemian rain. The writer sneaks down Golden Lane, plants spells on doors, plots a formula for turning metal into gold. The sleeping couple stir. Kafka gazes out the window, anticipating tonight's fireworks, shower bursting over the forest, the modern alchemy of a too bright world. The writer examines his reflection, lean, angular, monochrome, the sleeping couple in the lower half of the frame. A cock crows, a pale sun rises in the east. Kafka pads to the door, joins the maids and early risers in the corridor. Across the city, hangovers alert their owners to folly, to the painful cost of letting go. Kafka slips away, nothing here to see, nothing more you need to know. I'm going to finish my first set tonight with this poem, which is appropriately titled Raincoat, but actually it's a poem about jealousy. Once I had a raincoat I loved. It weathered storms, sleet, derision, staggered home drunkenly from the parties, with the moon in its arms singing. A strong raincoat, belted and epauletted and grimed, with character and confidence in its ankle-length swagger, its swishing belt and buttons that chimed. Together we shivered in cinema queues, forgot our own names on bedsit floors, had countless arguments in smoke-filled bars, made up for at midnight behind closed doors. A warm raincoat, belted and epauletted and grimed, with character and confidence in its ankle-link swagger, its swishing belt and buttons that chimed. But raincoats, like people, are human, and one day its arms dislocated, its buttons crestfallen, its storm-battered body took flight, crying, "You tricked me, you fooled me, I hate you, I saw you with that anorak last night." Hello, do come in. Okay, now we're going to continue with a poet. It's her second appearance at Dodo Modern Poets. We're delighted to have her back. She regularly performs at the Poetry Cafe at Poetry at 3. She's writing great poetry, so we're really delighted to have Laura Kennedy back on our stage tonight.
Hello, good to see you all. I'm going to begin straight away with a poem called The Sea of Space. If you find yourself at the shore, at the beach, laced with the sea of space, indeed, let your head turn towards the land from whence you came. Strain your ears to hear the city streets, the only sounds allowed till now. But here you stand, with sand nestled in your toes, for as the traffic rolled round and round the streets, round your ears rolled the roaring of the waves, and the longing to bathe led you to this spot, where salt tickles your nose, and you know this is it. Yet nothing is so frightening as nothing. With each wave on the dunes, a jewel of fear is uncovered, and fright peaks with the tips of the ocean as it ebbs and flows, swells and wanes, mounting most at the moment before the leap. Too near for many, who stay clear of the